Joining us now on the Picks for Polls podcast, we've got Texas State linebacker James Neal in the house. You can follow him on Twitter at KingF_24. He's going to be talking to us about his experience playing football in college, as well as him getting ready for the NFL draft. James, thanks so much for hopping on this thing. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate you for having me, man.
All right, let's get right into this thing, because your college career, I think, is so interesting because you split time between University of Texas, El Paso, and then Texas State. But what do you feel like made both schools really good fits for you?
I think just the scheme and how the defensive scheme is set up, running a 4-2-5 just allow me to play fast and downhill. Like, that's just the whole mindset of my game, just, wholly.
That is definitely good to know. So, I guess I have to ask you, right? Like, was there a significant amount of difference in competitions between both schools? You feel like every time you put the helmet and pads on, no matter what happened, that you were going to go out there and make plays?
Oh, yeah, of course. I don't take anybody lightly. That's just the number one way to get beat. You don't want to take anybody lightly because, anybody can show up that day. Football is a momentum type of game. So, if you show up half-stepping, then you'll see the results. So I take everyone the same mindset.
So based on the response I'm hearing right now, is it safe to say that when opposing teams have to go up against you, like they are going to be playing against a guy that basically is going to be the tone setter, going to be a really physical linebacker, going to be the type of guy who's like, hey, I'm going to make you earn every single yard?
Of course. That's my mindset every game, going to every game, no matter who's in front of me, because their job is to beat the man in front of them. So I'd rather beat the man in front of me before the game gets going. So that's my mindset. Any game we play, whether it's a playoff game, a regular season game, or anything.
So let's talk your preparation for the draft, right? I know we were kind of talking about before this about how Sunday's your recovery day, but what is, like Monday to Saturday look like for you? Where are you working out right now? What types of strength and conditioning programs are you in? Are you maybe watching film on yourself to get ready for the draft? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, so I set my days up, in order. I go, Monday through Friday. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays are like my more heavy weight room days, but also we're more specific outside, working on the different drills, working towards pro day. So you got your, your vertical broad jumps, you got your, cone drills, 3-cone pro drills, all those type of things. Those are what we're working on. On like Tuesdays and Thursdays, you want to be more specific going into your positional drills, working on your cardio, making sure you're able to, be able to do the drills with that lactic acid in you. So that's what we're working on mostly. Then after that, you go into the film room, you go over the plays you did it the previous year, making sure you're real crisp on knowing the calls, knowing the formations, setting up the defense and stuff like that. Then, you want to go into your recovery mode after that, just to keep yourself honest, I like to stay proactive. So no matter what, I'm in that treatment room, that training room every day, doing things regardless of what's going on. So that's how the days are set up for me, really.
So you mentioned your pro day. When is that?
The 25th of March.
Where is that, at Texas State, or are you going to be at another school in the area?
Yeah, I'm going to do it at Texas State.
At Texas State, cool. That's going to be really interesting to kind of keep an eye on. All right, so you play a linebacker, right? Like, the mental side of the game when it comes to linebacker is so important. How do you train yourself to basically be able to say, all right, well, one play we did really good, the next play wasn't the best, but we just have to keep going? Like, what's the mentality there in terms of always making sure that you're not focused on the last play, you're focused on the next play, whatever the result of the last play was?
Just the situational football, back in high school, my DB coach used to always tell, not just his DBs, but, everyone on defense, you got to have short-term memory. So you can't think about that last play, whether it's good or bad, but you want to know your situations. You want to know what's ahead. You want to know what down it is, what type of team they are, just all those different things. You got to bring it to aspect, and you got to look forward, and, you got to know what they want to do. Every team got different tendencies. Each player have different tendencies. That comes with film study, film session in the previous week. So, You just got to know, and got to be ready and alert. You got to be on 10. You can't just dwell in the last play because like I said, football's a momentum game, so it can get up on you quick. So you got to stay crisp. You got to stay sharp, especially at middle linebacker. You got to know what everyone's doing around you, what's everyone doing in front of you. Just those type of things that help you become a better player. And that's what I try to focus on. Being vocal, being sharp, and staying sharp.
And speaking of being linebacker, right, knowing that you're basically the quarterback of the defense, I mean, how much responsibility did you have over the last couple of years, right? Basically being like the captain of the defense and making sure that everyone was lined up and doing what they were supposed to do.
Right. Yeah. So you got to be more vocal when you're a middle linebacker. You got to set the front up. You got to know what's coming. You might want to give a tip to a person beside. Being linebacker, you got to trust the person next to you. So you got to alert all the different calls, all the different point out stuff that you see that we've been working on all week. You know what I'm saying? If you got to make sure you're got peripheral, you want to look to the sideline. Maybe the coach want to switch it up or change it up, or maybe you want to change it up yourself because you see something. But you got to make sure you know what's going on around you. You know what everyone's doing around you. If you're quiet on defenses, you're not gonna be very good. You got to stay vocal, stay communicative, all that type of stuff. So that's what I try to focus on. And even if you're not the person setting the fronts or setting the call, you still want to talk to that person. Maybe you got a combo going on or a push going on. You still got to talk to that person next to you. So that's just what you really have to be when you're a linebacker or, especially in that box, in that trench. So.
And how about during the season? Because it is, I mean, it's a crazy season, right? Like the season to me is a lot more of a marathon than it is a sprint. Sometimes you're dealing with, as a student athlete, right? Like you've got practice in the morning, classes, homework, film study, all this crazy type of stuff to kind of get you ready for whatever that 3 to 4 hour window on Friday or Saturday, whenever it is you're playing. But what is your weekly routine like in terms of getting ready for games?
Yeah, so I like to stay ahead. So if I know I got assignments coming up or different homework or anything like that, I try to work ahead or plan my week out. So every day is practice. So at a certain time you're gonna practice. Then you want to know when you have free time, and when you have free time for everything, that's free time for film session, free time for homework, all that type of thing. So you want to set it up. I like to stay organized. Just how you got to stay the crisp on the field, you got to stay crisp in school. So, and I always been big on that. So, if you don't perform in the school, you can't perform out there on the field. So, like my coach said, if I can't trust you on Saturday nights, I can't trust you on 37. That's what he always used to say. So, I just try to stay prepared regardless of what I have going on. So, if I got homework and I know it's due on a Friday night, we might be in the hotel. I'm gonna get it done on like a Tuesday or Wednesday. Work ahead, just that type of thing. I just try to stay ahead so I won't put myself in the hole.
And what about watching film? Like, how much film do you watch on yourself, right, after a game versus the opponent of the guy that you're going to be going up on the next game?
Well, my position coach and our coaches, they were real good about watching film throughout the week. But say we played on a Saturday, we'll give a day, watch the film the next morning or the next afternoon, see what we did, correct it, and then that's it. Let's go to the next opponent, get started on them. You don't want to stay on the opponent too long because what can you do after that? But you want to know what you did, correct it, fix it on that next Monday or Tuesday, and then but the next opponent, because like I said, it goes fast, it goes quick. Every Saturday, every Friday is another game, so you want to spend just a day on it, just to correct yourself, see what you did, what I'm saying, see what happened, what went wrong, what went right, and then it's the next opponent.
So, I'm curious to know, right? Like you mentioned you played middle linebacker, but what are some of your strengths when it comes to the football field? Because, watching a lot of film on you, I mean, I definitely see a sideline to sideline guy, a physical linebacker, a guy that's going to make the offensive line and the offense think twice about running it in your direction.
Yeah, right. So, throughout my college career, my coach, positional coach, always said I had that speed and nose for the ball. I've always heard that come up. You know what I'm saying? So, I try to focus on being sideline to sideline, like you said, but staying downhill is a big thing. I tried to focus on this year. That nose for the ball. Regardless of what's going on. Finding the ball is what it's about. But yeah, speed and nose for the ball. You know what I'm saying? Quickness, lateral quickness. Working downhill. That's what I say my strengths are. You know what I'm saying? So trying to use my hands, make sure that I'm getting off blockers. You know what I'm saying? Wrapping up and driving on contact.
And what's so cool about playing linebacker is that it's not you're not the only guy making plays, right? Like sometimes you're going to be making plays as a result of the front four in front of you or the defensive lineman in front of you. And you mentioned that you played in a 4-2-5 in college, which is ironically, I mean, the base defense in the NFL today. But what specifically do you feel like works for you as a player when it comes to the 4-2-5? Like, why is it such a perfect fit for you as opposed to having to play in like a 4-3 or a 3-4?
Yeah, I like trusting my guys up front. They set up and get off their blocks and they set the play up right and allow me to shoot the gap and playing downhill. I like playing with those type of guys that they're gonna be destructive up front. So it's my job to go in and make the play. If they're gonna set it up for me, then I'm gonna go shoot it. And I'm gonna go get it. That's what I love about linebacker. It's heat seeking missile all the time, controlled aggression. You know what I'm saying? Go out there, hit, do what you got to do. But I like when my D line is fierce, strong, set the holes up right. Everything looks clean. There's nothing else but to go make the tackle. That's what I love about it.
And I'm sure, you really appreciate the defensive linemen in front of you because it's like without them, you wouldn't be able to play as freely as you want to.
Right, right.
And so I have to notice, right? Like because people are doing their research, but when teams talk to you, right? When teams bring you in maybe for visits and all that, what specifically do you feel like they should know about you in terms of who you are as a football player, but also as a person?
Somebody's gonna work hard. I don't take no shortcuts. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that understands it and somebody that gets it. Somebody that knows what needs to be done and to get the job done. I understand that. All the different things that of a football player needs to have and they need to do. You can't lack. You know what I'm saying? You got to stay ready all the time. Different friends that I have. Some in the league, some that's just been there, done that. I take all advice. Like I've been a sponge since I was a freshman, so somebody that's gonna do the job and get the work done. That's not afraid to work. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they should know about me. So work is at this point my middle name. So grind, put my head down, work. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I'm all about.
And let's focus in on the Bears here because we are a Bears media outlet. But like the Bears are a city that is and a franchise. They're notorious for really good linebackers. What do you know about the city of Chicago? What do you know about the Bears franchise?
They're rich in history. I mean, some of my favorite players was there. Khalil Mack, he was real good there. Windy City, Chicago's got a beautiful skyline. The Bears is just always been known for that hard hitting defense. I see a Bears uniform and I think, yeah, they finna come with it on defense every time. But Chicago's a great city. Chicago Bears been around a long time. I think of Bears. I think of with Mike Ditka. That was his
Mm-hmm.
name. Yeah,
Yep,
that's
that's it.
so. Yeah, Chicago is great. I mean, it's a great city, great franchise. What else?
Have you ever visited Chicago, or is that something you hope to do soon?
Yeah. I think we went there. Who we played? In Northwestern in Chicago,
Yeah,
or
Northwestern. Yep.
yeah, we
Hmm.
went there 2 years ago. When I was at UTEP, we went down there and played them. So like I said, it was real nice. So
That's awesome. You do you know KT Hilton by chance or
I,
Kobe?
I do. He's a close friend. He's my teammate.
Yeah, he was just on the show with me as well because I'm knocking out like 6 or 7 of these, and he was kind of saying the same thing. He's like, okay, we went there, but only for a day, just because we had a game and everything. You mentioned Khalil Mack as being a player that was one of your favorites. Outside of the Bears, are there any sort of players that you feel like you really love that are currently in the NFL that you maybe model your game after?
Yeah, of course. You got your Fred Warners, Zaire Franklin. Um, let's see. I like Roquan Smith's game. Um, I also like Patrick Queen's game. It's a lot of great linebackers. Let's see here. A rookie that's a friend of mine, Tyrese Knight. I learned a lot from him. So it's a lot of linebackers that are good nowadays, and that's really doing the work in the NFL. So those are just a few that's off the top of my head.
So Roquan was at the Bears a couple of years ago. Obviously, one of my more favorite players to cover. But what specifically do you like about a guy like a Fred Warner or a Roquan Smith? Like when you turn the tape on, what are they doing that you try to bring to your own arsenal of
Down
talent?
heat seeking missiles. They are the leader of the defense. Vocal. They're when you see them on the field, you always gonna keep an eye on them. Like they're gonna be around the ball all the time. Like it's like they're on every tackle. Like that's what I love. That's what I like doing. They're always in the mix. That's what I like. So when I watch Fred Warner and Roquan Smith, it's like yeah, he's the captain of the defense. He knows what he's doing. It's like they know what's going on every play. You know they were in the film room all week. They're making the calls. They're being vocal. They're the mics. So yeah, that's really what I like about them. So
Is there I guess, like preferred destination you would have? Like, okay, when I get to the league, there is this one city I'd want to play for, or it's more so just like hey, whichever team calls me and says, hey, we want you, I'm going to go there.
exactly, whatever team calls me, I'm ready to go. Like my favorite team at that point. So it doesn't matter.
Well, was there a team that you like grew up watching that you're like, okay, it'd be cool to play for this team?
Yeah, knowing I'm from Texas, a lot of my family, of course, they love the Cowboys. I watch them a lot, and of course the Texans. So, if I played in Texas, then that would be great. But any team calls my phone, it's
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to be open to playing wherever, So I think the coolest thing about football is that you create a lot of memories, right? In terms of like, you're going to have memories at the high school level, you're going to have memories at the college level, but give me, one or two of your favorite memories from either high school or college.
um high school playoff game where third round of the playoffs we played in the Frisco Star. That was a big stage for us, especially what we went through all year. That was just a big game, big moments. I had a lot of really good plays made. That's one of my favorite moments. And then let's see, just how my JUCO season went. Being that COVID went on, we played in the spring, but just of how that went and what I did just in 8 or 9 games, becoming All American. That was, I think real productive. That's one of my favorite moments. And then, you know, I'd say recently getting into a bowl game, winning it, and having a great season. Being a part of that is always a great feeling. Going to a bowl game my first year in college or first year in the NCAA in 21, and then last year in NCAA, getting to another bowl game and winning it. So that's a really big moment for me as well.
What was the coolest part about winning a bowl game?
Just the celebration after, like it's just a really good feeling. Like it's like somebody that's you just won a Super Bowl. Like you did this, you ended your season right. You went out with the win. You're getting a ring. You get to say you're a champion. And just the whole experience that week, like it's real fun. It's real big. Uh, Anybody would want to go. That's the whole thing about FBS bowl season. Like get there, go there, win it. You already got there, so why not win it? And when you win it, it feels good.
So we've talked pretty extensively about playing linebacker, and by the way, the bowl stuff was really cool. But have you always played linebacker, or has it sort of been something where, like, in high school, your freshman, sophomore, you were maybe playing one thing, and then as you got bigger, faster, and stronger, the coaches were like, "All right, well, let's put you at linebacker," and that's kind of become your main position throughout the later portions of your football career.
Yeah, so ever since Little League, I played both sides of the ball, but I was heavily a running back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, yeah, this is the position for me. Freshman year, I played running back and cornerback, and then like you said, as I got bigger, stronger, and faster, I transitioned to linebacker. Like my sophomore, summer, junior year, started focusing on linebacker way more, and then I got into my freshman year of college. I played actually like the Sam backer, nickel type of backer. And then that's when I just, after that, going from JUCO from like 2020 to all the way now, it's just been straight middle linebacker. Got bigger, faster, stronger. So yeah, I moved around a couple positions, but it's like I went from like being a running back. I played cornerback a little bit, because I was, my size in high school, freshman, sophomore year. Then it was just linebacker from straight then and there.
Do you, I mean, I guess like this, so do you ever miss like playing that running back cornerback role, or do you just prefer to play where you're at now because like there's just a thrill of being the captain of the defense?
No, yeah. Once I started playing linebacker, I loved it. But playing running back, it was also special too. Scoring touchdowns. But I'd rather hit someone than get hit. So I didn't take a lot of hits, but I'd rather be like linebackers. Way more fun. You get to go out there, you get to hit, you get to fly around. No, nothing. Just go out there and get the ball. So yeah, that's way more fun.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense, because I believe I mean, the school website's got you listed as like 6 feet, 231. Would that be correct? Like that's what you're currently weighing in at, or?
Yeah, yeah, 6 foot. A little bit on the lighter side of the weight, probably like 226, 7 right now. Want to be a little lighter for pro day, but yeah, I played at 230 all year. So yeah.
And so the cool thing about watching your film is that there's a lot of production. There's a lot of tackles, some sacks, some tackles for loss. I mean, for a guy like you that was super productive in college, especially playing that linebacker position, I mean, how important was it for you to be like, all right, I just have to go out there, I have to make plays, the stats will kind of take care of themselves? Like, what was your mindset when it came to that?
All my mindset is, if I'm on that field, then I know the tackles are gonna come, the plays are gonna come. As long as I'm in the game and on the field, then I know that's what I'm gonna do. That's has always been my mindset. I wasn't worried about it. At one point in time, my mindset was, oh, if I'm on the field, those are gonna come. But now let's go get that victory. That became more of my mindset. So yeah, I knew if I was on that field, I was gonna make plays. I was gonna make tackles. So that's just my whole mindset. That's what I do. Like I said, my coaches always said I had a nose for the ball. So
So getting away from football here, right? Because like this whole thing for the most part has been James Neal and football. I mean, what should Bears fans know about who you are as a person in terms of what you like to do outside of football, in terms of what you like to do when it comes to, maybe just having fun in general? Like, what are you into basically in terms of hobbies and all that?
I like I picked up boxing a little bit when I was my last school. I like doing things like that. I like staying active. I like of course video games, playing with my friends, hanging out with my friends. I'm not a real big guy on going out, but stuff like that. I'm from the country, so if I could fish, I would do the stuff like that. Things like that. I'm a real simple guy, but nothing too crazy. But things like that. That's what I like. That's what I like doing. Really just hanging out, spending time with my friends. Being that I've been busy for the past 5 6 years playing football. Practicing, working out. Anytime I get with family friends, then it's real big.
So earlier you had kind of mentioned that you maybe have some friends that are in the league, right? Have you kind of gone ahead and talked to them at all about how to prepare for what the next couple months look like?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I had recently. He's a rookie now, but he just got through his rookie season. Plays for Seattle. Tyrese Knight. He always keeps me in the loop, lets me know what's ahead, what to do. Like he's real life the blueprint. Being that he was my teammate in college, and he's done the work, and he just completed his first season, which was spectacular. So he always gives heads up, tells us, tells us and other friends I have what to do, what to know, what to be ready for. So he gives a lot of really good pointers.
What is the, I guess, best piece of advice you've ever received from one of your college or high school coaches regarding just how to kind of navigate, challenges that come with playing football?
Um, Best piece of advice. I think just I say you want to protect the name on the front of your jersey, but also the name on your back. One of my defensive coordinators always used to say that's kind of falls in line with if I can't trust you on third or Saturday night, I can trust you on third down. You want to protect the name, which is your organization, whatever you with all the time, but you also want to protect your own name. So when it becomes to that, if you can't stay in line outside of football, then football won't happen. So just always making sure you're on point and not getting into any trouble and just what I'm saying, staying focused. That's always been a big advice.
Before we get out of this thing, where can people kind of follow you on Twitter or Instagram, the world of social media, keep up with your journey over the next couple months here?
Yeah, like you said, you can follow me on Twitter, King F_24, Instagram, Soldier Jim, 2 M's, Soldier SOULJA, and then I've recently been on TikTok, putting my workouts on there, and that's J2 Live, JAY2 LIVE. So that's where I've been, on my workout journey, pro day journey, and football journey mostly past year and a half.
Absolutely. Make sure that you guys are giving James a follow. This has been awesome to do. Keep in touch. Best of luck to you. And if there's anything that we can ever do for you here at the Bear Report, don't hesitate to reach out. We'd be happy to help in any way that we can.
Appreciate you for having me.